Alright, problem number 20. Find the upper and lower boundaries that would be used to identify outliers from the given set of data. Then identify if there is an outlier. So using this given set of data, I'm first going to put it in numerical order because remember, we need our five summary data, which is the exact same information that we use for constructing a box and whisker plot. So it's going to save myself pretty much a good bit of time by going ahead and calculating all of those terms. So let's start by putting my numbers in order. Lowest number is 2, 3, then 4, 5, then 8, 9, then 12, and lastly 21. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers, which means my middle term is going to come somewhere right in there. So I need to find my average of the two terms to the left and right of my median. That would be 5 plus 8 divided by 2 equals 6.5. So my median is 6.5. Next, I need to know the value of my first quartile, or my Q1. That's going to fall between these two terms because now I'm using all four of these numbers to the left of the median. So I would cancel out those two, cancel out those two. That would leave me with my median being between 3 and 4, so 3.5. Same thing on the top end. I have 4 numbers, so my median's going to fall right smack in the middle. 9 plus 12 divided by 2 would give me 10.5. Next, I need to find my IQR. My IQR would be Q3 minus Q1, so 10.5 minus 3.5 equals 7. Now that I know my IQR, we can use our general rule of thumb calculation in which I multiply the IQR times 1.5, which equals 10.5. I take my value 10.5 and I'm going to subtract it from my Q1 and I'm going to add it to my Q3. So 3.5 minus 10.5 gives me a negative 7. 10.5 plus 10.5 gives me 21. So I know that any number between negative 7 and 21 are included terms. These would be my lower and upper boundaries that are used to identify outliers. And I don't have any numbers that are greater than 21 or less than negative 7 in my data set. So I could simply say no outlier. And then we get to start the process all over again. So it looks like my first two terms are 9 and 11. And 12 and 14. 15 and 17. 24 and 28. And 39. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 terms. I have an odd number of terms, which means I will have an exact middle. So my exact middle would be the number 15. That's going to be my median. Now I need to find my Q1s and Q2s. So since I had an exact middle, I'm going to use every number to the left for my lower term, Q1. So it will fall between those two numbers. And every number to the right, I have 4, so my Q3 will fall between those two numbers. Q3 is going to be 26. Q1 will be 11.5. My IQR equals 26 minus 11.5. So that's 14.5. Again, we'll use our rule of thumb, which states that 14.5 times 1.5 equals 21.75 will help us to set our boundaries. So I will take 11.5 and subtract 21.75 and come up with a negative 10.25. I will take my 21.75 and add that to 26 and come up with 47.75 and determine that there are no outliers for this set of data because I don't have any numbers less than negative 10.25 and I don't have any numbers greater than 47.75. All right, our last example. Let's start with 9 and 11, 12 and 14, 15, 24, 43, 59, 68. Now this one's a little bit trickier because right off the bat it looks like our normal set of data would be the 9 through 24, and these three terms up here would all be outliers. But we're going to use our general rule of thumb process to determine if there are truly any outliers that exist within this set of data. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 terms. Again, that means my number in the center would be my median. So 4 numbers to the left of the median means that's going to split these two in half, and 11.5 is again my Q1. These will get split in half, so 43 plus 59 is 102. Divided by 2 to find the average would be 51. We find the interquartile range by subtracting 11.5 from 51. So my IQR equals 39.5. And we're going to go ahead and finish up the process, but we can already see from here that if I add 39.5 to 51, all of my values are going to be included values. But we'll finish up the process. 39.5 times 1.5 equals 59.25. So I will take 11.5 and subtract 59.25. And my lower boundary starts at negative 47.75. And my upper boundary would be 110.25 for this given set of data using the general rule of thumb for outliers. My lower boundary would be negative 47.75. My upper boundary would be 110.25. All of my terms fall within the reasonable guidelines for this general rule of thumb. Hopefully you enjoyed working on your study guide.